Thanks for staying with us. So we continue our discussion on the lingering Naira scarcity. It has been almost 2 weeks since a 7-member panel of the court, led by John Okoro, unanimously directed the CBN must continue to receive the old notes from Nigerians. However, the federal government or the CBN of Nigeria is yet to issue a specific statement. Many Nigerians are lamenting, and there's so many videos on social media demonstrating the anger Nigerians are having. I had a few of mine too last weekend where I kept telling Nigerians that we are allowed to spend, but the plantain seller says, I can't collect it because they're not, my supplier will not collect for me. It took a while for us to get them to stop collecting. It might take a while for us to reverse it. But either way, something must be drastically done. What are your thoughts on it? What are experiences? Could you share with us? You can call us on the numbers on your screen. 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Over the weekend, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was saying that I was talking excited, like, so thank God the Supreme Court who has said, Morel, please leave the Supreme Court matter. He's an educated person. That CBN, the owner of the currency, has not said anything. Is this Supreme Court I'll be listening to? So the truth is that we want CBN to say something. Nigerians would not react until they hear from the man who is the custodian of the monetary policy, the currency that is in question here. He should be the one to tell us if we should go ahead and accept these old Naira notes or not.
So we do not require the CBN to pronounce anything before we proceed. But if the CBN has put on ground an impediment to the ease of that Supreme Court order, then they must. So the CBN had opened a portal on their website requiring us to go there, fill a form, generate a code to deposit the old Naira notes, including the 200 in the past. That portal is still as active as before, till today. That portal and the requirement is what the banks must do to receive any old notes till today, even though it impedes the ease of enforcing the Supreme Court order. And because of that, CBN must do something to remove that requirement. Imagine now, I'm doing business and there's a Supreme Court order. As a Nigerian, I know that the Supreme Court is the final court in this country. And I say, okay, bring your old notes. I exchange it for goods. And then I have a bulk amount I need to do a transaction online for. I take it to the bank. The bank will say, where is your code? Because they have already created a business for certain people outside the bank. In this place, there's one across the road here. You just go there, generate code, pay that person. Because the person is already on the CBN website, waiting for anybody to come to generate code. He makes money. And then I go to the bank. So I cannot just easily walk into the bank and say, I have a 1 million old note. They will say there's a requirement of only 500,000 per account. And there's a requirement to generate code.
So you generate code for each.
I will now open an account for all my staff. I'm using them. You to go and do 500 today. Tomorrow, that kind of hardship that the CBN is creating is what we are talking about here.
You have not been in the country, so I can't even ask for your experience. You just got back.
But you see, the challenge is we don't understand the impact this thing is having on every business. So I had conversations with everybody, and many people in the diaspora are complaining that their family members cannot eat. Is that bad? Like, they are asking me if I have any connection that can help them get cash in Nigeria so that their parents can eat at home. We can all talk about the problem, lament all the issues, but until the government is decisive about solving the problem, they won't.
No,
and it lies.
It's
not our decision.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm tired of us using this government must decide. Yes, what I'll come to you. You're not right. You're not wrong. You're right. But we need to start mentioning names. It's not government anymore. It's Emefiele.
It's not Emefiele, it's the president.
Emefiele.
Call the name of the president.
What?
The president is the decision maker. Emefiele cannot act without the president's permission. Yes. So the fact that Emefiele can grandstand against the rule of law from the Supreme Court is because the president is telling him to go ahead, or the president is ignorant of the hardship people are going through.
All of us are correct on this one.
I think you're actually right, because the truth is that the buck stops at the table of the president. But the truth is that even if the president makes a pronouncement, do you know that until Nigerians hear from Emefiele, they won't do anything? So because he's the one that started with this policy, Nigerians, no matter even if Buhari comes out today, you're right. The box stops at the table. But Nigerians still, until Emefiele, who the CBN governor says, many people don't want to accept.
Brian, the box stops at Buhari's table. And what now? Also, what qualification of economics does he know? His advisor is Emefiele. So all of us, we are correct. Emefiele is the one that will carry for Moga. This is going to fight corruption. The CBN is now EFCC. We are fighting corruption.
President will say yes.
Yes.
He say yes,
Let's
yes.
go.
That's all.
And the Supreme Court has given order. President will think things are moving fine. Emefiele is the one that generated code. They have not told President that code is causing problem. There's a report in the Punch this morning that the economy is grinding to a halt and has lost over 20 trillion following the mopping up of over 70% of our cash from circulation by the central bank. And this new report is by an economic think tank, Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, this Sunday, yesterday, that passed. We are not looking at the implication. The president is still thinking things are going normal because the central bank will come and say, it's online transactions.
No, and our receiving increasing money.
Our online transactions are perfect. We are on top notch. President will think that reflects the entire country because these are his team, the experts.
So
They are sitting there in the central bank. He doesn't know better.
Right.
See, it depends on the people you have on top of things. You can't do everything.
So that is not an excuse. A leader should be able to know when policies that they have set is not working. Are they not listening to the news? Do they not read newspapers in the morning? The team, are they going to lie and hide the newspaper without the president asking, let me see the papers, what are my people saying? There are women, men, children, young boys, young girls who are getting naked in the banks every day. Are they not seeing that this is impacting on them negatively? Initially, they said they cannot fault.
The paper that our president reads them, we are reading.
No, how can it be different?
No, it can't be the same.
No, it cannot be.
Our president cannot be reading kind of paper we're reading, and it's the same way. It has to be different.
So that tells me that there's an agenda. This silence now, that
Obviously.
the president is silent about this matter, the CBN is silent about this matter, there's an agenda. I would like to understand in their head what is going on. Initially, after the state had taken them to court, they said they cannot do anything again. The court cannot do anything again till they collect their CTC, certified true copy of the order. Now they have sent it to them. It was taken in the papers this morning. They have sent it to them. If the CBN governor does not say anything today, the president does not say anything to alleviate this issue
Suffering,
this suffering from our hands, then they will go back and resue them again in court. If the president can set an example of not obeying the rule of law, please, nobody should come and arrest anybody, any small human being for traffic, for not obeying traffic laws or for not doing what they're supposed to do at the same time. You must start by example. And this is your opportunity as a president to leave a lasting legacy. In a few months, you're out. How do you want Nigerians to remember you? Are you even thinking about
this
it?
is what we're going to remember. This is the only thing
you don't even care about
It's
it.
the closing.
It's the closing. This is a very bad closing.
Is the ending.
Is the ending.
It's the
Wrong.
finishing.
Okay,
That we
but
remember.
I've been asking this question for a while, and I don't know why nobody can answer me. Why is it so difficult to arrest the CBN governor?
No. Who is trying
He's
to arrest him?
protected.
That's not even the
Somebody needs
Wait,
to.
now.
That's
the
no.
conversation.
They tried to arrest him.
Somebody must, because what
In
you're doing right now,
allegations.
in the legal framework, there's
Yes.
got to be something. We
No,
can
it's
use
not
to hold
above,
against
no.
him.
You
No,
see, a
this thing
police
that he's doing
officer
now, Shay,
with a
like
simple-
disobeying
this thing
the
right
rule
now.
of law.
Somebody can be arrested.
With
someone
someone
that
can
president.
get an enforcement order, and the IG would
Why can't we
instruct
do that?
the
Why
lowest
is Sarah?
rank of police
No,
officer
but
to
the
arrest
IG
him.
reports to
But
the
he's being
president.
protected. He's being protected.
Yes, now by
So
the
we said,
president.
the IG
I
reports
tell
to
you,
the
say
president.
the other day somebody saw him at Tinubu Square, the CBN Lagos office, and the number of police around the scene full barracks. Escort and come. He's protected, so they don't want that clash. So you see what the DSS tried to do the other time. They say, why are you trying to arrest the CBN governor? He's trying to fight corruption. You are fight corruption, you are fight Nigeria
And they
to
say
penury.
corruption is
This
fighting
report
back.
that I read yesterday, Muda Yusuf of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce is now the director of the CPP. And he was the one giving about how Nigerians have entered penury. I know someone who has a thriving business in Ikeja, but every weekend she's at my house asking, do you have cash? Do people have some small cash? Let me exchange.
Everybody's
Because
not a beggar.
She doesn't drive to the office because of traffic. We cannot close people's lives
Everybody's a
because
beggar
of
Thank you for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of cash crunch, and many Nigerians are still lamenting. Joining the conversation now is Dr. Muda Yusuf. He is the Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE. Welcome, Dr. Yusuf. Are you there?
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. We'd like you to join this conversation because Nigerians are still quite worried that even after 2 weeks where the Supreme Court had declared that we should go ahead to use both the old notes and the new notes, today many traders, many organizations are still rejecting to accept or to use the old notes. and we're still yet to hear from the CBN governor on this. Do you think it is required for us to hear from the CBN governor, or what do we do to get the traders and regular folks to begin to use the old notes?
Well, for the average person in the marketplace, the authentic source of information that they know is either the president or the CBN governor. Well, we already have a Supreme Court judgment, but they are not as familiar with the Supreme Court as they are with utterances or pronouncements from the central bank or the president. Just a few days ago, I met one of these people hawking things on the streets. And I asked him, will you take the old notes? He said no. I said, why? He said, we never hear from Buhari. Buhari never talk. You know, that is the sense across the entire country, especially for those at the retail end of the business. And the fact that we have seen this silence on the part of both the CBN governor and the president of the country is also sending a message. And the message that people are, ascribing to this silence is that of reluctance to comply with the Supreme Court judgment, which is very, very unfortunate. And sometimes, though I listened to part of your discussion before the break, sometimes you wonder whether they are not getting any feedback at all as to how the citizens are feeling. Because leaders are there to serve the people. And if the people are going through a pain and suffering of this magnitude, 10 days after a judgment, nothing is being said, nothing is being heard, and the people are groaning. Quite frankly, it's just very difficult for me to comprehend. I don't know what they want to achieve. I don't know what exactly is going on. So I think as citizens, we need to escalate the matter a lot more. We need to raise our voice.
All right, let me get a few questions in for you. Go ahead.
Raise our voices.
Do you think we are a fearful people? Why do I say this? Because from the look of things, it seems like our leaders are not even willing to pay attention to our needs. And at some point, we may have to take our lives in our hands. And some people would say Nigerians are not ready for a revolution. Nigerians don't have the liver for a revolution. We are more talk shop. We talk, and everybody adjusts. And then the leaders capitalize on the fact that we are able to adjust and just keep pushing the boundaries. Do you think, or do you expect that at some point we should ignore them and start using this cash amongst us? So if I come to your store, I buy, I give you the old cash, you collect it. You know, you go to the supplier, you give them the old cash, they collect it. Do you think that should be the way to go, or we're just a very fearful people?
No, I don't think that is the way to go.
Okay.
The way to go is to compel those whom we have elected to do what they should do. When the president took the oath of office, he swore by the Constitution. He swore to uphold the Constitution. He was holding the Quran in his hands. And that was the essence of the oath of office. Now we have a Supreme Court judgment, and this judgment is not being obeyed either by him or by his agents, and yet we are keeping quiet. So the thing to do is not to go and be engaging the operators in the market. The thing to do is to engage the president himself and his agencies.
Mr. Yusuf,
Right.
about 70...
We have to compare them to make sure that they comply with it. Unfortunately, our National Assembly is not doing the work they should do.
All right, let me get a few questions in for you, sir.
So, Mr. Yusuf, about 70% of the cash in circulation are already mopped up. We believe that some of them are no longer at the bank vaults. They're already destroyed. If we were to you know, to get this enforcement or get a pronouncement from the central, from the president today and the central bank governor today. How do you think how quickly do you think the economy will revive?
You see, first of all, we still have a few of those old notes in the system. The banks have been releasing some of those old notes. If you have had a pronouncement from the central bank, just as the way he addressed the country when he was going to impose this policy, if he addressed the press or addresses the country and said that, well, in line with the Supreme Court judgment, old notes and new notes will coexist between now and December, this tension will go down. I don't believe that they have destroyed all the notes. I don't believe that. I believe they still have quite a substantial amount of those notes in their vaults. I mean, the ones they were releasing, where did they get them from?
Right.
I think they got them from somewhere.
All right, sir.
So they still have those old notes.
Dr. Yusuf, going by what BC said earlier, because the truth is that when this thing started, we saw Governor El-Rufai come out openly to tell his people, spend the old notes. So do you think maybe Governor, since Femi Adesina cannot advise his president, and Garba Shehu are not advising their president, maybe individual governors should come out and come and tell their people within their states to use to notes? Because I think Charles Soludo, that's the governor of Anambra, has said it outright. I saw a message that he said on Sunday telling his people that he just confirmed personally from the CBN governor that they can go ahead and use, but we need a general declaration for the whole of Nigeria. So what role do you think governors can play in ensuring that people start using these notes?
And obey the rule of law.
The governors have done their best. Initially, they led the delegation to the CBN governor. He didn't lift it. They led the delegation to the president. He didn't yield any results. As a last resort, they went to court, which is what they have done. They got a court judgment. Many of them had advised their citizens to continue to take the old notes. But the psychology of the average citizen in the marketplace is that pronouncements that will be valid as far as currency is concerned has to come from the central bank or from the president. That is their psychology. And in any case, what does it cost the CBN or the president to make that pronouncement? What does it cost them? Especially when your citizens are going through this kind of pain, this kind of agony. People are losing businesses, they are losing jobs, people are going hungry, people are trekking on the road.
All right, thank you very much.
Democratic government, we elected them for goodness sake.
Yeah. You're very correct, Dr. Yu. Thank you so much, because I mean that's exactly all Nigerians are saying. Thank you very much for continuing to help us amplify this issue, because the truth is that Nigerians need their leaders to speak up at this time. We'll be speaking to Dr. Muda Yusuf. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on this. I'm going to come back to you because, Doctor, I've not heard from you on this. I just saw a message from the governor of Lagos State. So governors are gradually beginning to, 3 hours ago, he's also saying that his people in Lagos should start using the old notes as legal tender. A number of governors who have said the same thing. Do you think more governors should begin to speak since our president is not talking?
Well, I think that, you see, when there is absence of leadership, there's likely to be anarchy. And that's what worries me more than any other thing. Because as much as we feel, this is in Daboski, there's a spirit of, let us fight, revolution, let us let the leaders understand the voice of the people. But we've seen where revolutions have happened, and we've seen how it turned out. Very few are good. And in most cases, it might end up being violent and loss of lives might happen. So as much as possible, I would still advocate for peace. I'll still advocate for, let us continue talk shop. Let's continue lamenting and shouting and hoping that they hear us. And it seems they are hearing, because at least the governors have something at stake. Every governor would say the same thing. Believe me, Murayo, in the next few hours, all the governors will say, because they have elections coming up next week. So there is a very present stake for the governors for peace to reign in their states. And so maybe when all the governors come in one voice, maybe the president will hear, because the president obviously does not believe us. The president doesn't believe social media. He doesn't believe the newspaper. He doesn't believe what anybody is saying apart from what his closest aides are saying, and they are definitely not giving him the real picture.
Governor Rufai said that he had to tell the president the particular information that was already 2 days old on the papers. I know
he did not get it.
One of the reasons why I'm never a fan of revolution, right, is because there's no revolution that doesn't end at the negotiation table.
They will still negotiate.
After blood has been spilled, everybody still comes back and still negotiate. So why don't we negotiate before people die. Because who's willing to sacrifice their own child to go and lose their life then before we now come back again and discuss and agree? So let's always find a way to resolve it. And it's by really putting the people first. Let's go on the break. When we come back, continue on this topic. We're going to hear from Nigerians. It's important that we hear from real Nigerians so that when our leaders hear Nigerians speak, they understand it's not just the ladies of your view talking.
Okay, let me take some messages online.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have Professor Sakibo who says, this Naira confiscation is turning hard-working Nigerians to beggars. Why is it difficult for the federal government to listen to the cries of innocent Nigerians who did not vote for this high level of suffering? The federal government must arrest this chaos before it consumes our country. And he says, on the Lagos election, I don't trust the nation, given how they don't even try to hide their bias. But anything they say Emefiele did, he did it. Emmanuel says, one lesson to draw from all of this is that no court judgment, even if the highest court in the land, can confer legitimacy on a currency issued backed by the good faith of the central bank. Nigeria's problems are largely institutional, not individualistic as you are making it.
Let me take this message from Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. He said that for those of us expecting CBN governor or PMB to make statements or for them to be charged for contempt, there's nothing in the judgment which requires the CBN governor or the president to do anything. However, the judgment is mere declaration of confirmation. But a responsible CBN governor and president, and I'm paraphrasing now, who has Adeshino and Garba Shehu as advisors, we expect them to make statements since the people are expecting them to do so, but not that they are obliged by law to do so. So we know that you cannot hold the president. So what he's trying to correct me that we can't go and arrest the CBN for not saying anything. But in good conscience, understand that Nigerians need you to just open and say this one statement, and then so that the market woman can accept all the Naira notes.
So I like to always look for solutions when issues happen. So instead of going round and round and round, I like the fact that the governors are now coming out in their different states to say, go ahead and use this money. But I want a bit more reassurance from these governors. If your people, for instance, Sanwo-Olu has said in Lagos State, you can go ahead and use the old notes. Your people start using the old notes, and then they get to the point where they're supposed to exchange it or pay it into the account. And the banks are saying that they will not take it. What will you do as a governor of the states? Can you go ahead, get the police and arrest those bank officers who are refusing to collect, or arrest those CBN people who are insisting on codes? Is there something you can do to show that I am behind you, my citizens? Go ahead and use this money. And if you get to CBN and they're asking for code and asking for that, come back and set up an office, report this to us, and we will take it up from there. That will be more reassuring to the citizens to know that, okay, our governor in our state has our back, that if we use this money and they refuse to collect it back from us, they will be prosecuted. And I want to ask Nima, because she's the lawyer in our midst, does the governor have that jurisdiction to arrest people within his state who are not complying with the rule of law?
No. He's the highest authority. Anybody, even a law-abiding Nigerian can arrest in the minute if a crime is happening in your
citizens arrest.
Yes, citizens arrest. But when it comes to institutions like this, sometimes they will have clogs. Not that they don't have certain powers, because they don't have the authority to order the police.
No, the governor doesn't have the authority?
No.
You cannot.
You cannot order IG.
You cannot order IG. You cannot order commissioner. Commissioner reports to IG, and commissioner will get his order from IG. IG gets order from the president. So the president is in charge of everything. Yes. And it is really, and I think that we should all be calling out his name. The papers call out his name. He's the president. The president is in charge. He's not. We should leave Emefiele alone. Emefiele follows the command of the president. Yes, the president will advise him, but he's the one in charge.
Two of them.
I know Nima is doing the drama.
Let me pause you.
But he's the president.
Okay, just a moment.
Hang in there. Let me take Yakub. He's been holding for a minute. You think that Yakub is our... Good morning, Yakub. Are you there?
Yeah,
you always get through. Please tell our callers how you get through everything issue. They think we call you specially.
It's just consistency of being trying, continue trying. So
right, but go ahead.
If you have sympathy for something, you have to try.
All right, go ahead, Yakub.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Everybody in the studio. But I listened to Dr. Muda Yusuf. He made mention something that you don't really know what they want to achieve. If Dr. Muda Yusuf said that he don't really know what they want to achieve, we Nigerians know what they want to achieve, especially with that support of President-elect. We know what they want to achieve, but God Almighty Allah don't allow them to achieve that. And then when you don't achieve your aims by bring this kind of policy, you need to retrieve your step back, your leg and do the needful. Let me give you this question here. You remember the president-elect went to State one time ago during the campaign, and then he made mention that even if you increase the fuel price to 1,000, even if you mop up all the money in circulation, Dibo, so that's very particular one. Nigerian citizens, especially with support of the president-elect, got it. That it is all because of him. I'm sorry to say this, that they bring this kind of policy, especially whereby the central bank government wants to become the president. And then when he failed to get the ticket, he now wait for them. At the time of that, okay, I did not get this ticket, but I have another in my workbook I want to use to make sure that you are not getting it. See, right on this policy, if it is not God Almighty, allow one as well, God Almighty.
Thank you very much, Yakub. So let me read exactly from the governor of Lagos State so that we're very clear, especially for those of you that live in Lagos. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has called on business owners and especially retailers to accept the 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes in line with the Supreme Court judgment that the currency remains a legal tender until December 31st, 2023. Therefore, this is where the arrest comes in, BC. Therefore, it is illegal to reject the notes. So because he has said that it is now illegal, if you don't accept that note, you can actually
report you to the police.
Can they just have a meeting?
let me
So
take
my
that
office has not opened for a week. Not even 2 weeks. Nobody has come to my office. None of my staff could come because they don't have transport fare. And it happens to be a lot of people. So can we just start with the NURTW? Well, park management, well, anybody that runs public transport system. So can we have a meeting? Can the governor trickle that information down to them? If the transporters would accept old notes, it would ease a lot of problems. So if the currency flows through transport system, people will start knowing that things are really changed, and they would listen to the governor because they already have a relationship.
Very, very true. I would give you an example. So my sister had gone to Lagos Island Market. All that she bought, there was no perishable products in what she bought. But she had a 500 naira note, and the seller kept looking at the money that pay. She had agreed to a transfer. But she kept saying, just deduct that 500 and give me the cash. And she kept saying, no, I cannot release the money. So she was done, and remember, she didn't buy one thing and turned back and said, how much is it? The seller said 1,000 naira. She then said, okay, my money is not enough. Let me go. She said, come. Just take it.
Give me
And
that.
give me
Was
that
willing to
500
sell
naira
at a
note.
loss.
to collect that note.
She then said, why are you so desperate? She said, because I live in Ikorodu. And to go home, I cannot be paying 100 naira, 50 naira by transfer. They will not even agree. I don't have notes, old or new notes as I am now. I'm desperate to go back.
Let me quickly take this call from Mina.
It's very true.
Mina Etsu, good morning. Are you there? Sorry for keeping you.
Good morning,
You're live. Go ahead, please.
How are you?
Very well.
Thank you. I appreciate your program. Some of us, I think what is happening in this country, Moriah, we need to join hands together so that we can speak out. Nigerians are suffering, Moriah. They are suffering. In fact, I want to number one, because there is no time, if it's possible, because this thing is water and start that you are talking about, and even COVID-19. So let's all Nigeria now, let's put it in our statute and we say that please, Mr. President, review this policy.
It's a begging matter.
This is what I want all the media houses to be talking about. We should be all talking about review this policy. They always be begging the president. But it's like the media houses are doing nothing.
Only us they talk about that. Only us.
Media houses are talking. What else do you want us to do?
The policy is good, Mora, but the executed, the way the federal government go about the policy, we are not that.
Thank you very much, Etsu.
People are so.
Thank you very much, Etsu. You're talking about this thing like back to back.
I'm surprised to come back here and see discussing this.
Oh, you left us.
As I left people discussing the problem.
We are still on this
So
matter.
I wanted to take what the former CBN governor and present governor of Anambra State said to his people. He said that following a directive at the bankers committee meeting on Sunday, yesterday, he called the CBN governor, Emefiele, and he said to him that Nigerians can now freely accept and transact with the old currencies. And so he's directing his people that they must continue to transact. And any bank that refuses to take a deposit of that money will be reported to the CBN by the state governor, and they would also shut down that branch of that bank. But then, he now went further to say that commercial banks have also been directed by the CBN to dispense the old currency and to receive it as deposit. But tellers at commercial banks are to generate codes for the deposits. And there's no limit to the number of times an individual or company can make the deposits going forward. So even though now they remove the 500,000 limit per account, they are not removing code. Though.
You see, generate.
We see there somewhere. So we need to know where we are going.
Let's just take.
Let's even pay transportation.
Let's know where we are going. Please.
Okay, Ebony. Good morning, Ebony. Are you there? You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Thank God I could get through. First of all, I want to agree with software. I will not say it's a very valid point. Yes, the governors are coming out, the election period and all of that. But I want to add to that. I want to say, even aside the election and all of that, even if the election was not postponed and it was last Saturday, it is only expected that if these governors have their hearts and their heads in the right place, this is what they would do. They would come out boldly to give an instruction to their citizens, because it is eminent, it is obvious. Just like we have been reiterating on the show, lawlessness will bring chaos.
Right.
Now it is fully obvious that God, President is not talking, CBN governor is not talking. Whether it is constitutionally proper, they need to, or they cannot hold them. We don't know that. We don't know the Constitution. We need them to just come out and talk. And if they keep silent, people will do it. They will go and take those into their hands.
Right.
Now, aside elections coming, what these governors have done is to try and put a limit to what the citizens, to how far they can go out of hand. Yeah. Because at least when you say something, now they come out to say something. That's what the citizens want to hear. They want them to come and say something. Say everything, come out and say, collect 200, it's valid. Don't do 500, don't do 1,000. People come out and say, he knows the pain, he knows what we're going through. How do you know what we're going through if you're saying you don't know the news, you don't see what Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Ebony.
This morning on The Nation, I took the major headline, and immediately, CBN have already reacted. So the attention of the central bank, according to this reaction, has been drawn to a story published in the Nation newspaper on Monday, March 13. This morning edition,
but they have not reacted to the
alleging that the governor has launched a fresh plot against President-elect. The aforementioned story went further to allege that the governor has made certain amount of money available to a candidate ahead of the March 18th gubernatorial poll. We wish to inform members of the public that this story is completely false and malicious, as the CBN governor does not know and has never met or even spoken with Mr. Gbadebo Rhodesvivo, either in person or through a proxy. We wish to reiterate that the CBN governor does not take part in politics and therefore urge anyone with contrary information to prove the governor wrong by providing any facts. As such, the governor and his team at the CBN should be allowed to focus on their assigned job with a view to achieving the statutory mandate of the bank. 10 days after they did not see the Supreme Court order. 10 days after. This morning, I just took this story. Just this morning, we've been waiting for these people to answer also on the way forward. Though, after 10 days, they did not see a Supreme Court order that the whole country is talking about, but they see this one.
Yes.
That go personally to the person. This CBN governor cannot separate himself from politics. He had intentions to run for president in this country under a party's platform, and he's abusive of his office. And as it is now, he's deliberate about ruining this country. I'm saying it with all sense of responsibility on this show. This morning, I take this headline. I don't understand.
All right, let me take
And Nigerians are clamoring. You say you've not seen all the protests happening. Yeah. When they were burning banks, he didn't see that. When they were attacking people, he did not. The CBN did not deem it fit to address. When they went into bank vaults, putting phones on bank staff faces, exposing their lives to threats, and all this accident that happened across the country, he did not react. But this morning, he reacted to a personal accusation to his person, leaving the office, the appointment, the office that you're sitting on that controls, affects the lives of Nigerians. He did not direct that one. But the one that affects your person, you address it.
His priority.
Thank you very much. I like that to sink in. Because that's the Nigerian story right
I've
there.
Read your
because it's never really about the people, it's about your personal interest.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right there. Nigeria just, like the Nigeria we're trying to change, just played out in exactly what CBN did this morning. Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there? Hello, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Very clearly.
All right. Good morning to you, ladies. First time caller.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, I'm following the program this morning, and it seems like everybody is echoing the same thing from all parts of the country.
So we're all feeling it.
But honestly, I wish to say that I look at this cash situation in two aspects. I would not want to give all the blame to the president, neither would I want to give all the blame to the CBN governor.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
From what I have known from about the president over his last 7.5 years in government, he's somebody who tends to respond to what his aides put on his table. And so for me, as much as we will encourage Nigerians to call out the president, I think we should also encourage Nigerians to call out the CBN governor. Because in as much as the CBN governor does not make a case before the president for a need to respond in line with the Supreme Court judgment, the president may not likely.
Thank you very much, Ozoze. You know, another thing, BC, let me come to you, because what this entire episode also reminds me how important communication is for Nigerians or regular people. When your leader communicates, even if you don't, they're just not asking for much. Just talk to us. Show us that you care. All we need is an engagement. If you continually engage Nigerians, they will understand and they can always tighten their belt. But what do you think would stop a CBN governor or even the president? Okay, they say we shouldn't blame only him. Mr. President, from speaking at this time.
The needful. So the thing is, people will work according to the priorities that they have. People will work in self-preservation. So this is me jumping to, they've tarnished my name or they've called my name or let me quickly defend myself, not looking at the bigger picture of all the problems that people have been calling you. They want to hear your voice. But it's very convenient to quickly respond under 24 hours to an allegation that you feel has been done against your person. That shows that the problems of Nigerians as a whole does not affect or concern. We always say we want leaders who our welfare will be their topmost priority, but it's becoming obvious that it's just about them amassing power, amassing wealth, protecting themselves, alienating themselves from the society. They don't feel the pains that we feel. You will not tell me that he's looking for cash to do any transaction. He has cash at his beck and call. So he's not feeling the pains of the people. His businesses are not, being affected in any way. So it's easy for him to stay aloof and wait, okay, let's have a consultation with the president today. Let's have one tomorrow and be discussing or that they used to discuss. We don't know the outcome of that discussion. Instead of taking the pulse of the people to say, Oga, this thing we did, though, is not working for our people. Our people are struggling. What do? Can we pause it? Can we stop it? Can we do more Naira notes since we have destroyed majority of the other ones? Practical solutions. And then you come out and tell us exactly what you are doing. Give us a time frame on how we can just, tighten our belts for a bit and then come. Nothing like that is done. But you quickly respond to the one that affects you personally. It touched your blood.
If it was a defamation, you can make a file a criminal defamation or civil case against Nation newspaper. You don't have to respond to this issue since you refuse to respond to the one that concerns all of us.
Full response.
You do full letter, but you don't get full letter to type.
Let me play the devil's advocate here, because sometimes you have to look at things on different sides. Is it possible? Is it possible? Because I saw a video where rotten plantains, because obviously people are not able to sell because people are not accepting old notes. Do you think the issue is the news hasn't trickled down? Because in the early days, when they started this whole thing, it took a while for Nigerians to accept that this is no longer a legal tender. My own grandma, my mom in the house, was still putting offering using the old notes, because it takes a while for these people to get the message. So is it possible that maybe our traders, those in the rural areas, have not gotten the brief about the Supreme Court judgment, and maybe we as Nigerians should be patient and give CBN a few more days to hopefully let this thing trickle down? I'm just...
So I think that it's good to try and find a spin, on this drama that is happening in Nigeria. But I don't believe that it has anything to do with that, because we've seen obviously that CBN can respond to whatever touches them. So CBN could have responded. CBN knows that they were the ones that issued the order that there's a change of currency and the previous notes is no longer acceptable. So they know that until they issue another order saying accept, the citizens will not follow, even if there's a Supreme Court order. We've had a precedence of the fact that the government does not follow rule of law and Supreme Court order. So because there's a precedent showing that, nobody will be eager to throw themselves into the ring and be stuck with cash in their hands, and they'll be struggling to find a way to pay it into the bank, because they'll not have to generate a code and all of that to get the money to the bank. I am happy that the governors are stepping up. And funny enough, and I don't want to be misquoted because I mentioned that all governors will speak up because it's about election. People will start making it look like the governors are talking because it might favor them for election. So Ludo was not contesting before he spoke up. It's just about the people. And the governor did not, the Lagos State governor could have spoken up earlier until when we know now that there's a Supreme Court judgment and he's standing on that Supreme Court judgment. So there is, what do they call it? You have you have a legal backing to say that a Supreme Court has already said this. If you don't comply, we can always go to court. You can't charge me for it.
According to Governor Soludo, he says, and these are his words exactly, the governor, Dr. Godwin Emefiele, personally confirmed the above to me during the phone conversation on Sunday night that the old notes are still legal tenders. So if you are personally confirming to your friend, what is wrong to publicly confirm?
Yes.
Why must you have side conversations?
Please, let's not insult him too much. We need him. So let's just be begging him. Let's beg him.
You are CBN governor for yourself and the Emefiele family.
Somebody has power.
Let us be nice. At this point, it's business. I'm with you.
Yes, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
We have a right to be angry. We also have a right to be civil.
Yes.
I'm just saying that.
The uncivilized one is the CBN governor who cannot separate himself from the office he's occupying.
Yes.
No, but
yes, go ahead.
He holds the currency of Nigeria in his hands right now.
Which currency?
So
that's why he's an appointee to serve us.
Yes.
See, stop, we are not beggars. We are dignified people as Nigerians. We are not begging him. We're not begging him.
Right. But right now, we are begging.
Should immediately remove him. I'm not begging him. I have never sat here to beg him.
No, I'm not saying I'm begging him, but the truth is you need cash.
That's what you should be grateful for.
The moment I came into TVC, I asked him, I said I need to raise cash again. The truth is the average Nigerian is begging to get access to their own money. There's a crisis on ground. So being angry is valid, but understanding that the person in charge, we need to find a way to be reasonable with him, because when we get angry and we just shout and we just say they are shouting again, is corruption fighting back. There's an excuse. But right now we cannot.
Okay, let me take this call from Ade. Ade from London. I mean, listen, many Nigerians would agree with you guys. Yes, go ahead, Ade. You're live.
My own point is this. We are missing the point. It's not the fault of the Emefiele. It's not the fault of the president.
Wow.
It's the fault of president-in-law, the Attorney General of the Federation. It's his job, his duty to tell the president the Supreme Court are working, and you have to obey.
I agree, sir.
It is his job.
I agree too.
Yes,
I agree too.
Not the Buhari. So it's the in-law. It's in-law.
Wow.
That's what Nigeria. That's what I'm saying.
I agree too.
You should remove that title from me.
I agree too.
God bless Nigeria.
That's enough. Okay,
he was the one who represented the federal government in this suit.
In the city, yes.
So he should have gone home immediately and say, let's just follow. Being a law officer himself.
I also blame Nigerians. Maybe let's also start sharing the blame now. So I also blame Nigerians. Let me tell you, I blame you and I, because we should, that same energy, they vex. Go and vex for the supermarket woman who won't collect your 1,000 naira. No, but vex for the
as if our market that she did not give me.
We can't vex it for each other. We can't vex for each other.
The point is, reason why he was vexing for the onion sellers, because you have a Supreme Court judgment that is empowering you
that has not enforced on the onion seller.
So you don't have access to the CBN government. I will tell you, BC, plantain chips. I will give you old notes.
Come and buy my cup. Try and buy my cup.
With old notes.
Do you show me what you have? In soon, how much do you want to pay?
I'll give it 1,000 naira for you.
Let me see. No, that one. Buhari said we will not collect that.
That's it.
Wait, just hold on.
Supreme Court judgment says that you should collect 1,000 naira.
You have the judgment. I don't say again. I don't sell again. I'm not doing again. I'm going to chop my own cup. Leave her. I'm not selling again. Will you force my cup?
We're both going to lose.
So we shouldn't fight each other.
I will be going to lose.
Let's imagine I don't have perishable goods. I will lock shop. I'm going to sleep.
Simple. See, the one thing you have perishable goods.
Which is why plantains were getting rotten.
Exactly. So who's losing? The owner, the political losing.
Yes, but somebody is sitting down trying to get us into a recession. So somebody who is an expert is trying to get us into a recession.
So the way the resolution between you and I, the two traders talking, where we both now agree, collect, make you collect, so that two of us can, let's forget CBN for now.
Okay, yes. Then after forgetting CBN, when I don't gather all the cash, I don't go back, they come bounce me. I go chop.
They don't go bounce you for
they
bank.
They will bounce me now.
You don't know that Banco is another matter.
They will bounce
People went to the ATM just last week at Yanopaja. They withdrew old notes. And then they went to try to buy something, and the people refused to collect it in the market, and they went back to the bank to deposit. The bank said, where's your code?
Imagine.
You don't know the situation on ground. We will know what's happening
Trade by
on the outside
barter.
in the streets.
Trade by barter.
Let's go on a break.
Trade by barter. Trade by
Let's go
barter.
on a break. Let's so that Nima can calm down.
Okay,
Stay with
we are
us.
watching you.
Staying with us. Let's take a few comments on social media. I have one from someone here. I won't mention her name. She said that what are the legislators afraid of? They should commence impeachment proceedings against Buhari. After all, many of them aren't returning to the legislature. So, because everybody's doing their last minute thing, and if you feel the president, the government right now, is not listening to the yearnings of Nigerians, maybe it's time for you to start showing your power, because before you couldn't show your power because you're in the same party, but now many of you are not coming back. You might as well start the impeachment proceeding according to this this comment.
Well, they may want to come back later. You know the way our politicians are, they never want to resign. So if I now go and show myself and I'm coming back next tomorrow because I want to apply for something else, and then it starts, you know, it comes back to me. So everybody just tries to self-preserve. And that is where we have a problem as a country. We don't look at things collectively. We don't fight for the people collectively. We just want, once I'm okay, I'm satisfied,
Personal.
it affects my personal home, my family, my children, my great-grandchildren, we are okay. The other people, they can sort out themselves. We want leaders who are able to look beyond themselves and look at the people. What impact am I making? How will they remember my name tomorrow? What is that thing that they will say, this person stood for this person fought for this? That's what we should be looking at. It's just so unfortunate that this thing is affecting us.
I think we'll get there. But for now, any bank that paid out old notes and then refused to collect it back should be shut down by the governor for gross irresponsibility, bordering on criminality. Williams Davis says, good morning, ladies. God bless you, Mariah. I keep asking myself, why can't Emefiele be arrested? Or this man? Or is the man greater than the law? The law said he's always going around with plenty security. Are they plenty than all the security agencies in this country? Good question. Pachilo says, the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, has denied plotting against Tinubu in a statement on Monday. So shocking. Me, I'm just wondering, you know, this plantain example, myself and my husband argued about it yesterday, and it was like, Nigerians, we should find we can find a way out of this. We are survivors. We can find a way to float. We can, you know. So it now explains that the plantain sellers can actually do cashless and, you know, go to farm and do cashless. I said there will be a point in that entire chain of transaction that
Where
cash
cash
must
becomes
flow.
essential.
Now, what I know in market is that if somebody brings some goods in, you can have one shop and be the supplier, the distributor of everything.
Yeah.
When your goods come in trucks, all your colleagues that you're all selling the same thing, you know the person that is carrying 100 bags, the person that is carrying 10 tubers, the person that is carrying how many bunch of plantain, you know. So they are all there collecting the goods. They don't have to pay.
Yeah.
When they are done selling, they separate their profit and pay you back. And you are going to the farmers, to the bush market with cash. You are paying each farmer because you are not buying from one company.
Yeah.
You are talking as if it's a conglomerate of companies.
Yes.
You are buying from one farmer. Each farmer will say, my own is 10,000. You'll be surprised that each 10,000 plantain is what fuel the trucks.
Is the Alaru going to collect?
Thank you.
The Alaru that is
That
carrying
is
the
collecting it.
Alaru that will just carry it down for
Maybe
you.
they do
Will
this
the
for
person
you
collect
in the
transfer?
farm.
That's not possible. They cannot collect. It's not possible for them to be paid
Down
in
4 or
transfer.
15 naira, you cannot transfer to me.
Even those that, because I had that challenge before I traveled, where we had people that wanted to cut the grass in my farmland, and we had to pay them cash because their money per day is 3,000 naira. So the person was collecting 3K. You want to send me to the bank to go and collect 3,000 naira when I need to use it to feed myself. So we are forgetting that a lot of Nigerians and the people are suffering. Someone really close to me, I can't even mention, very, very close to me, we had to be trying to get money across to them, 5,000. We took, I think it would have cost my dad had to go and give this person 5,000 naira because they couldn't eat. Old person, all children abroad. I'm telling you that a lot of people I met abroad, their parents are starving because they can't get money to them. They are begging that, do you know anybody that can give my dad 2,000 naira because he can't buy food? So we are talking about these crucial little things that the people can take for granted. It's bad.
So when we talk about leadership, and I mean, because as much as we can lament, but we must also bring this back to how does Nigeria move forward? Because we always just say, Nigeria is just better than my old note. I don't buy from Nima, they do shakara.
I said I don't sell again.
That's all that I have my entire life.
Emefiele have not spoken.
That's all.
Emefiele have not spoken.
Anyway, so the point I was trying to make is that it goes back to leadership, and I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
But you see, Nigerians really, the truth is that people, individuals, are the Nigerians, not the system. The system works if we make it work.
We're talking about leadership.
Some people, yes, leadership. Some people blame the constitution. But we have a constitution that is functional, but the people are not implementing it. Same thing we're having here, where it is this individual person, either the president or the governor of the Supreme and the CBN, they are the ones that are totally working against the interests of the people, not the system. So Nigeria itself is a good country. It's a country that actually can actually survive if we have the right people at the right places. What we are seeing right now is a man who had interest for presidency and is now being spiteful because he lost in the primaries, and he's using that because he has the laws to back him up. They can say, there's nothing he's doing that is illegal.
He doesn't have the laws. The CBN just said that, and I wanted to read the judgment. I closed it.
The CBN,
no, so that we're not just talking as if we know him personally. I don't know him personally. All I just want him to do is be a governor for me. Yeah, as an appointee of government. Sorry, I'm looking for the job. When I find it, I'll open it and read it. The Supreme Court says he's not above the law. He doesn't have a personal agenda. He cannot be anti-Nigeria and be an appointee of Nigeria. You cannot use Nigeria to fend for your personal interest. There's a clash of interest. What the law even expects of him is that once that clash of interest happened, when he was trying to paint cars up and down, over 1,000 cars, he painted with his ambition that time, he should have stepped aside from office. As soon as that clash happened, if he had stepped aside, this man does not have dignity. If he had stepped aside, he has no integrity. I'm coming. And whatever I'm saying, I'm backing it. If he had integrity, he should have stepped aside. I'm saying Nima is saying it. Me, I'm a lawyer. Come and sue me. You should have stepped aside from office with that interest. Once that clash happens, it gets us here. That's why the law always says once your interest clashes, if I'm sitting in a position,
because we can be
I said my name.
But
my name is Nima Akasha Zibiri. Sue me. If you're in an office, you're holding a position and there's a clash of interest, immediately you vacate and separate yourself from that office. You even let your people know. I am an arbitrator. It is one of those things that they won't train us as arbitrators. Basic. You move away so that this kind of thing cannot be happening. Today we are second guessing every decision.
Exactly. So that's the thing.
Let me come to you.
Following them.
I have a integrity to take, and I'll come back to you. Okay. Good morning. Are you there? Like if I call Hassan, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Wow.
Serious one.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Hassan. It's been a while. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. You see, what is happening here is this. The box stop on the table of Mr. President, because he is still our president and commander-in-chief up to 29th of May this year. That's number one. The second person culpable for this problem is Godwin Emefiele of CBN. Look, our economy is a product of informal sector. People are suffering now. Go to the villages. People that use imperishables. Our farmers are suffering. People are giving them wrong alerts. These people are 419 our people. We, the CBN, the president, agreed with the judgment, but he refused to accept the judgment. The CBN governor agreed with the judgment of Supreme Court and agreed to implement the judgment. This is double stand on the part of Mr. President and Godwin Emefiele. And the banks, I don't see banks issuing old notes without the instruction of CBN. I was in the bank. I was given the old notes. But the people are not accepting because no formal announcement from the president as he did when the issue of 200 Naira notes came to play. He should come out and talk, or he should tell the CBN governor to communicate to us so that people can start taking it. You cannot give us money with the right hand and take it with the left hand.
Exactly.
That is what we are seeing now. Good morning.
Okay, Tope, you have the floor.
So I'm of the opinion that the CBN governor would keep on getting personalized accusations. People would always say that they would question his integrity. People would question his sincerity. People would question every CBN policy because the CBN governor had made a political move. And it is important that we understand the impact of this, because I would have just taken a lot for the first few months of this policy. I was on this show defending the policy. I was here saying it was good, you know, trying to see something positive about it, listening and believing in them. But when your policy, when the implementation of your policy causes so much hardship, and it outweighs the whatever good intentions that you have. So my appeal to the CBN governor is, for whatever reason, if some Nigerians have offended you, it's not all Nigeria that offended you. You're a citizen of Nigeria, you have family members here. It's important that you just speak and address the press. Obviously, you can, because his press people just did a press release today to address something that was mentioned today. So obviously, he has a team that can work. We would like him to just, simple letter, just four sentences. Yeah. You are going to support the Supreme Court's judgment. Full stop, and everybody will have peace. Let me take this call from
Oluwaseun. Good morning, Oluwaseun. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live, sir.
Guys. It's just unfortunate that we find ourselves here in this mess. You see, I don't understand. Is the law made for man or man made for the law? Because, you know, this thing is looking too technical and too difficult. I don't know why they're not reviewing this, you know, and reviewing it to people they serve. Now, anyway, on the lighter note, you see, maybe we should resolve to doing trade by barter. Okay, I need a tuber of yam, so now I can do a website, develop a website for that tuber of yam, because this thing is so crazy now. You know, people can't do anything now. So, Emefiele, this is a Mikemi that is, you know, we are tired of it. He should review this thing. He should talk to us, because this is wrong. In a sane environment, you know, he should be sent away. He should be sent back in. This is wrong. Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, morning. To take two of those Supreme Court orders, just to see that we create laws so that there will be sanity. The Supreme Court ordered, one of the third of their order was that the 3 months notice given for the implementation and completion of the said demonetization policy, by which time old 1,500 and 200 naira notes shall cease to be legal tender, does not satisfy the conditions set out in Section 20, Sub 3 of the CBN Act 2007 that governs this man. You are not above the law. You are not above Nigerians. You are not above us. Yeah. If at all, anything at all, you are within this country and subject to every laws of this land, including the Constitution. Why are we here?
So what I've noticed is, you know, we talk about leadership, we talk about Nigeria, how we want things to be better, how we should start working towards having a system. But I'm beginning to realize that the powers that be that benefits from every system will always not want the systems to work. Because when the systems are effective, then they are not able to circumvent it. So sometimes it's corruption, like they say, fighting back the systems. You have put the laws in place. You know that these laws must be followed for us, for the common man to have a bit of, you know, benefits of the system. And then you find a way to go around the laws. It doesn't affect you. You separate yourself like Animal Farm now. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Until we get leaders there who say, I am a common man. I know I'm in leadership, but I am a common man, and this system must work for all of us. We just keep going round and round and round and round and round. So we need to be careful with the people that we select.
Let's take a few more comments and we wrap up.
Omar Akin says, artisans working in my project site stopped working this month because there's no cash. People making the laws believe we can do cashless, but they forget there's an infrastructure deficit to back up the cashless policy. Edward Bamon says, good morning, ladies. To buy maize in my village, in Mangu, a big whatever of maize with cash is 14,000. Wow. And transfer is 18,000 as of last 2 weeks. So how do you expect people to do without cash?
Let me take Mr. Kunle from Ibadan. Good morning, Mr. Kunle. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, man. I used to enjoy this program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, man. Please, man. You know, in a situation like this, man, one would be thinking like those people that used to play lottery, either play Baba Jebu or pool. You know that playing tune or you are playing Babajebi, so you have to be somebody who will be thinking that, okay, how do I win? Which member I will put on that will be able to win Babajebi? This situation now. Shall we be thinking maybe because of the kidnappers? Shall we be thinking because of the terrorists? Shall we be thinking because of the politicians? Shall we be thinking because of the Bureau change people? Shall we be thinking because of those POS people that central?
I didn't get the link.
The point was trying to make. But we have to wrap up very soon. I think
I've lamented enough. We're tired.
we lament, and it's important that these shows like this, sometimes we spend the day, because usually we should have several segments, but we chose to stay on this because just in case somebody isn't getting through, maybe a full 2-hour show would get through to somebody at the CBN or at the president's office. So it's the same way that was the same person that pressured the president to come out openly when the scarcity was so bad, and therefore he now pronounced that we can use the 200 Naira notes. Remember? That same person that did that job, we are also appealing to you to please speak to Mr. President, to come out openly, to tell Nigerians to continue to use the old notes till December 31st, as said by the Supreme Court. And just for those of you that have forgotten what the old note looks like, this is what it looks like. For those of you that have forgotten,
they cannot forget. This is what we know. No, you see the new notes.
Some people are not collecting anymore. They just want to collect. So please, this is what it looks like. This is still a legal tender in Nigeria.
Yes.
I can still give you for the number of you, if you like.
I don't want, I'm cashless.
But I'm still not saying my call.
Giving you.
President has not spoken.
All right, we have to wrap up. Any final comments?
Yes, William Olajumoke said it shows that some people are above the law, period. Why can't they arrest Emefiele just because he had a lot of security men with him? Is it more than all the law enforcement agencies in the country? He was appointed and can be sacked if he's not functioning. That's where the blame on the president comes in. Can an employee be more powerful than the employer? Will a CEO keep quiet when locked out of his office by his gatesman? The president also shows that he's above the law if he can't call his employees to order. And that's all. That's some sit-up.
The CBN code should be removed.
Exactly.
That's how we are sure
Close
that you can do your transaction. The money banks are just supposed to hold our money for us. So the money I've given to you, if I come to collect, I shouldn't have an issue collecting the money. Take out the code.
And if there's a reason for the code, open your mouth, let Nigerians know.
Yeah.
Because people may know at your office, but the woman on the street that is having to get demanding that she has a code might not know. So that's why.
And the code is empowering a few people.
Yes, there's no reason for that.
Lots of money.
It has moved people from POS payment to cyber cafes and printers.
That is all we can take on this morning's show. Our hope is, we've heard from 2 governors so far. We're waiting to hear from El Rufai because he's never silent at times like this. So Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos has spoken. Governor Soludo of Anambra has spoken. We're waiting for more governors to come out. And even if our president is not speaking, at least you can talk to your own people. Let them tell the retailers, the store owners, the menu RTW. You mentioned that earlier. Very important.
BRT
buses.
Inform
Tell
them.
your people to collect money.
Once you do that, the message goes fast.
Stop.
And we're good to go. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.